Hilchos Nida is a big subject. And we're not going to learn Hilchos Nida. It's going to be Shiurim Kluli. Now, I just want to make an outline. You cannot have a Shir Kluli and Hilchos Nida in one time. Because Hilchos Nida is divided, Chred generally is divided basically in 4 subjects. The first is how you get Toma. Then, in the same Indian is also, once you get Toma, how to be Choishesh Hilchos Vestas. That's Klulis the Hilchos Vestas. Then there is Hilchos Ksumam, separate halacha, which needs a Shiur from Atzmai. Third goes Hilchos Harchukas, which is also a very important Indian, which we have to look around, because this is a thing which is Zayin Agaya for everybody, Mamash. And fourth is Hilchos Chamishes Hayomim, Zayin Nikiyim, Hachuna LaTfila, Tfila, so Chatzitza. So I want to divide this again in these 4 sections, Mir Hashem, in 4 shiurim. If it's possible, it should be Mondays. It's fine with me, I don't know. If the Oilam is Mondays is a good time. Tuesday there is Chavrusas, and Wednesday there is a shir in Tarek Halacha, which, by the way, this shiurim do not replace the Tarek Halacha, because Tarek Halacha is a thorough shir, a thorough rach ala luchas. Now, next week, Ms. Probably I won't be able to give B'yamam Shech, because I have to give a smicha test for a whole for one of the Mayimadi programs. So it was arranged a while ago. But Akpun, Oipse Shaykh mit Kennen will be Mondays. Maybe as Hashem is Akpun the next 4 weeks. You begin Chesnid. Bechlal Hilchos Tahara is do I I would say 25 years, 30 years. I remember when it began. That since we know this week's start Shovavim. Shovavim is the weeks which Retzach von Gorlas Mitzrayim in Gilas Mitzrayim. Steht von Arizal, it says that these weeks are weeks which in the Sigel Fatiken Feinyune Kedisha. And so therefore, Bechal by the Welt Chasidam, it is Mamash HaGroise Zach. And there's a lot of Inyonam, Limitatoire Berzifes, and today's day we don't fast, as we know. In Chabad, is it nicht gewesen a big elaborate of Shavum. There's one place with the Alter Rebbe in Mamur Admar Azuk, dos red the Indian for Shavum. Ma kapuno with the Rebbe, so the Iker Indian is a unum of the unum of the condition unum is limited Torah. And the second thing with the Rebbe writes constantly in the Ikras Kodesh is that learning the halachas. People wrote to the Rebbe that needs a tikkun for Shida and Yunam and Kedisha. The Rebbe said, "Rebbe learned the halachas and chesnedem." Bechlal is by the last 25, I would say 30 years in the whole world. It comes to these weeks. There is shiurim. I feel like there's a lot of But Chabad. I know my cousin in Budapest gives a lot of shiurim over there. Says, "I saw it." In my says, "As Mama Sigel, as we should go over Hilchos Tahara." Now we have to understand another thing. Some people think that basically that they learned it when they were Chasanim, and they know it, but it doesn't go like that. Then if you don't learn, you forget it. Especially Baruch Hashem Kanayin Hara, we have Baruch Hashem children, and 9 months is Nishlegai Daluchas, and then you have a baby, and if your nurse clean, you could have, I would say, 12, 15, some people even 20 months, which is clean, so automatically you don't have the locha, so you forget. I have young light, which they're 35 years old, and they come over, tell me how the calendar should work. He had children, so we have to chazer over these elyonas, these halachas, which we forget in medafas ibegain. Now, the Medrsh in Shir HaShirim, Reb Shmuel bar Yitzchak, Pusach Keru b'Parshis HaTorah, gives the drash on the posuk in Tilam in Shir HaShirim, Taltalim Shchoires Ko'eraif. So till them Reb Shmuel bar Yitzchak, these are halachas which are dark, black, Ko'eraif. That means it's not comfortable that you should darshan it in public. And the Eibishter says, Arayvim alai. These halachas which you darshan in public, even if it's not comfortable, Arayvim alai, hadu d'chsiv, war weil Hashem in Chassidide. Taidalach brings a raya, because we see in Parshas Atoyre, Parshas Zov, and Parshas Zuva are separate parshas, which the halachas could be basically dovetailed together, but the Torah wanted it should be separate parshas. Ishishki Zov Mepsura, Ishuki Yuzim Zov Duma. So we see the Torah gave separate parshas because the Torah looked that these parshas, the halachas, which people think that you have to only darshan it in Stilleheit, that one is looking in public. So let's start like this. The first thing we have to know is the Pesach Shiva brings down in the beginning of the Chesnida, Sifkut Nahai, he brings that Aradvas. The Ein Lachadish Chumras Al Yisrael. There is not Inyan to be Machadash Chumras Al Klal Yisrael. V'halavai Sheyishmeri Mashal Mitlo Life. It is enough if they could keep whatever their Mechiyav. Don't burden Klal Yisrael with extra chimras. So the Bar Moshe writes, although we don't go 100% with the Radvaz, but the Nekidas Advurim is emes. In Hilchas Nida, there is not an Inyan, especially for Rabbonim, he writes this book for Rabbonim, is the Inyan as we shall say, Koichet de Taira, as we do with the Melech said, that basically you should try to be Matran Ishel Abala, just stand be Machmer, it's not an Inyan. There are halachas which is the person you should be machmer when it comes to halachas, which is basically hilchas archoka and hilchas yichit. And that halachas steht in the poskim dort is yod one machmer tzam, but halachas nida. It's not an inyan to be machmer. Why do I say it? A lot of times there are people who are ashamed to ask a shayla and a bedika. So what do they say? Start over again. It's not a mahalach. Upstippen ein nach der Tfila, which is Shloi Balucha, is a Dover Chumar. The Gemara sucht, Chazal Darshan and that Yeshia, which pushed off one night of Yiddish kinder of Piri Veriba, was Nanish. So there's no such thing, I'm ashamed to ask a Shaila. Ask a Shaila, it's a normal thing. Everybody has Shailas, everybody has Bedikas, everybody has, you gotta ask Shailas, and Nishukan in for I'll be Machma, you know. So Nishukan in and see Machma. Chitz mit dem Sie bei Nudem Lechavairoi, Udem Lechavairoi, you could be Machman, you cannot be Machman on your spouse, and vice versa. Okay. So let's begin. Menatoira is also a lady gets nida menatoira only when she see blood bahar gosha. We're going to see in a minute what's a means of gosha, but first we have to see the clueless the Indian. Menatoira Aisha becomes tamaya only when she has a hargosha. It doesn't. There's no chilik how much blood she sees. Even though she sees tiny drop, if she had hargosha, she felt it, she's also zanida min hatoira. If she sees it on a bedika's ed, that means she makes a bedika, not a kesem, a bedika, and she finds blood, she's also min hatoira. That means if a person makes a bedika, she decides I want to make a bedika, and she finds a drop blood of the bedika, she is now anida min hatoira, midaraisa. Why? Although we said we have to have argosha, since we have a chashash shema argosha v'lavadate. Maybe she felt when she's talking the ed bedika, she had argosha, but she didn't feel it because she thought she feels the ed. Ed means the bedika ed, the cloth. So therefore, then it is also a deraisa. Third thing, when she's a deraisa, if she is urinating, right afterwards, she wipes herself right away. We're going to see also what it means right away, but akaponam, then she's also akaponam sofik deraisa, because we are afraid maybe she felt, and she thought she only felt when she went out. But she thought it's my reglaim, but lamas it was a gosha, and therefore it's also. So we have to remember when a lady sees a drop of blood, no difference how big it is. She's nida deraisa. Now another thing is very important to know. It's not no chilik if she sees it the time when she's expected to see. A lot of times people write a question. My wife saw, but she's not expected to see another 2 weeks. No difference. As long as she sees, she's nida deraisa, even though she didn't expect it. So that's the Indian of menatoira. Hargusha, which is when she sees b'hargosha, when she makes a badika, when she's after hatulas ma'araglayim, after going in the bathroom, then she's a nida daraisa. Even if she sees like she has a cyst and she feels something when it comes out, it's also a daraisa. Fibers, all these things, she could become a daraisa. That's a nida min ha-Torah. A midrabanan, Amrabun added on, even if she doesn't feel anything, she has no hagosha, she still becomes tameya. She's tameya midrabanan, but she's tameya. That's called a kesem. A kesem means she found blood, she did not have an hagosha. Even if she knows she didn't have an hagosha, but she's still toma midrabanan. The same will go if she sees Riyas Dam Vade Megifa, is also an Ora Drabunan, since she doesn't have Argosha. Now let me just emphasize, there's no difference in halacha if she's a Tima Daraisa, Tima Drabunan. We are not conservative or reform Jews. Tima Drabunan is Tima Tamaya. You're Toma, you have to wait 5 days, you have to make Shiva Benekiyam with all the Badikas, all the Archukas, you have to go to tefillah and make a bracha. You make a normal bracha. It's the same, no difference. The chilik is on only when it comes to svaikas. We're going to come to that. Killers which Chazal gave us by the Rabbanan. But akaponim, once she is tom men ha-Torah, mid Rabbanan, she's a nida the same as she's a nida d'raisa. No difference. What did the Chazal say? If she found it's a kesem, she didn't have an agosha, she found a dam, she found blood. If it's smaller than kigris, if it's smaller than a bean, which is a big machloikas, how big the size is, according to most poiskim, it's about 19 millimeter. According to the Alter Rebbe, it's 17, it's a smaller sheet, 70 millimeter. It's around, it's not exactly, it's around a dime. If she sees less than a dime, we are toiler that she might have a machoilis. A machoilis means once upon a time, and we can understand it now because it came back, is bedbugs. Yeah? They had a lot of machoilis is like bedbugs or flies or whatever, or worms. And if Chazal would have asked a lady which sees a tiny drop of blood, no woman will be tahor, because there was constantly bites from this kind of machoilas. So therefore Chazal say, if it's less than a gris, which the dam, the whole blood of this whole animal is only less than a gris, I will say toilim b'machoilas. We say that it is a thing which it didn't come from her, come from a machoilas, from this bug, and therefore it is not a problem. That's number one. I wouldn't get to all of the Nikidis. I'm coming to that, Mr. Shem. And Bachlal, as Dovid advised, the question should be in the end of the sheet, because of cheshbonis of the recordings, not everybody wants to be in the recording of questions. So let's leave it again, if I don't address it. Now, the second thing which Chazal say, I only want to aser if you found it on a white cloth. If you found it on a colored cloth, I have no problem when it's a kesem. When it's a kesem, I don't have a problem if it's colored. And color does not mean dark color that I don't see the color. Even if it's light colored, light pink or whatever other colors, then I say, Chazal say, we don't aser. Third thing which we say is, if it is beige ein makabel tima. If it's a beige which is not makabel tima, Chazal said, I'm not asering. So again, if you had a kesem, which is basically you found blood without any hargosha, it has to be at least a gris, 70 millimeters and up, bigger than a dime, has to be on a white baguette, and has to be on a baguette which is makabel tima. If anything of this is not one of the three, one thing is missing, then Chazal say, I'm not matama. That's a kesem. That's a kesem. Kesem means I found the blood on the cloth. Now there's another thing. As I mentioned before, Riyas dam vade megifa. it is 100% sure it comes from a gifa, but without argasha. For instance, I'll give you the mashal, which could be, is she happens to be, she's in the ladies' room, and she sees dripping out a piece of blood. She sees the bleeding out of blood. So that's vade megifa, but it's not hargusha. She didn't feel. In such a case, we say there is no difference if it's less than a dime or it's more than a dime, it will be tama. Why? Because the whole reason why we say less than a dime is nishmatama, because maybe it comes from amacholis, from this bug. But since you see, and you know for sure it's vade megifa, it doesn't come from a bug, so therefore this heter falls away. When it comes to the other two attire which I mentioned, which is eine mekabel tima and begit tzavua, zug the alter Rebbe klor in Kif Tzadik, the first Sif Kut Aleph, and also in Kif Pai Gimel. Such a thing, we are also Michael. That means if it's vade megifa, but it is bigger than a smaller, bigger, no difference, but it is a eine mekabel tima, or it's begit tzvia, can man auch Michael sein. But if it's smaller than that, then it's going to be tama, because over there we don't have the heter of gris. So what falls away? This rabbonan falls away gris falls away. That falls away. Now, as I mentioned before, a lady which makes a badika, and she sees blood, that's a tima deraisa. That's a tima deraisa. And it's very important to know that. It's tima deraisa that you go even chshushas vestas. Because we're going to see that by kesem, I'm going to elaborate on kesem more in the other shir, but akaponim, kesem is the halacha, ein boy mishbevestas by kesem. That means even if a lady sees a drop of blood on her begodim, every month, let's say every Tuesday, every 4 weeks Tuesday, yeah, which is consistent, yeah, or every 30 days, every 21 days, which is, so to speak, by a vest, it will be in a vest kavua. If she sees every time the same day a kesem, I'm a mishim vestas. It's not kavu's vest. It's not such thing by kesem. It should be a kvi's vest. When it comes, but a badika, if you made a badika and you only see one drop, and you saw it every 29 days or every 21 days, it's going to be a kvi's vest. Lekila lechimra, because a budik is nishkan problem. A budik is a ria deraisa, because we are chash as aragish v'lavadatai, and that is going to be awesome. So just to sum it up, dam b'hargusha, which includes also b'dikis ed, or miyad after going to the toilet, miyad, which is miyad means within the 15 seconds, I would say. And she wiped herself right away then, over there, then you go into this problem. If, then it's a deraisa. If it is vade megifa, you saw it coming out without a gosha, or it is a kesem, it's a drabonan, and then we have some kind of killas lenient if she becomes toma. Once she becomes toma, has the same halacha as we mentioned before, the reis with the rabun is the same. When she becomes toma, Chazal say, since it's on a tima which we put on you, so therefore we give klolam. If it is begit sevilla, or if it is einem kabel tima, we don't aser. If it is gris, it depends. If it is a kesem, or if it is a riyam vada megifa.
And if she went to the bathroom and she didn't look, then
we're gonna go to get to it. We're gonna get to it. As I mentioned, we're gonna get. If the end of the shir I didn't mention something, we'll ask. We're gonna get to all these things. So we said that if a lady has to have a hagusha in order to be tima deraisa. What is an hagusha? What is a hagusha? There's three kinds of hagushas. One hagusha is nizdasa gifa. Somehow her body nizdasa gifa. She feels in her body a real, something, a shake. Something happens to her body before the period comes. That's argusha. And then if she sees afterwards dam, she is basically Tom min ha-Torah. Second, Psichis pi ha-Makar. She feels ad ha-Makar opens. Then she sees that blood is here adraisa. That's two is the Chaladais. Then the Nerdibida adds on a third one, which not all the poskim agree, that it is a Ragusha, but the Alter Rebbe does accept it, and it's called Zivas Duvalach. She feels a Zivas Duvalach. Now let me make it very clear. When she feels wet in the underwear, that's not the Zivas Duvalach. Zivas Duvalach means she has to feel inside in her body something is dripping. That's called Zivas Duvalach. This Hargosha is according to most poskim. I won't say most, but a lot of, maybe even most, it's not considered Hargosha, but according to the Nordbide and the Alter Rebbe goes with it, it is considered Hargosha. Now, Bisman Hazeh, let me make it clear, steht schon in the poskim, the friedige poskim, the Shev Yankiv, the Pesach Shiva brings it down, Shev Yankiv, which is the friedige Achran, writes, today's day we don't have Hargushas. Most women do not have real Hargushas. Fantasies? Yeah. But these Hargushas, we don't have. We could have Zivas Uvalach auch very rarely, but that's the Metzias. We don't have Hargushas. Today's day we've lost our feelings. We lost our feelings emotionally. We lost our feelings to our children and to our wives and to our parents. So we lost the feelings also to ourselves too, that we don't have these kind of gushas. So the question is going to be, all our women basically are nor tamai midrabonim. We just said riyas dam below gosha is a drabonim. So all our women, which if you don't feel, is are drabonim. The answer is no. When she has a regular flow, whatever she knows, this is the way how it flows. That's 100% nideh deraisa. She didn't feel. We say arga shevala v'datay. She felt, but she was busy washing the dishes. She didn't realize that she had a gosha. What is it in our terms? We have two Gdoli Achronim which gave us Simonim. Moshe Feinstein says, whenever she sees as big as a credit card, that means she sees a kesem on the begodim, she sees as big as a credit card, it's bigger than a credit card, that's already a flow, that's a deraisa. I saw not Niti Gabriel brings down, I don't remember from whom, if it's bigger than $50, which more or less might be the same shear. According to Ramosha Naishos, he was one of the big poskim after the war, he says when the lady goes to the bathroom, and she sees blood, which the blood changed the color of the water to red, that's already a nideh deraisa. That's a nideh deraisa. So again, yes, most of our women would have a period, not most, all of them have a period, is a nideh deraisa. Because she has a big flow, a regular flow, and the water would have been colored if she would have seen in the water. So yes, our women are nideh deraisa. Forkash gave another Mekida, which is very important. That even if he says, I don't go credit card, not a credit card, every lady knows how a flow looks by her. And it's an important thing. Why? Because there are ladies which, when they are before menopause, pre-menopause, which is in the 40s, then starts some kind of changes in the body, and also in the whole Hilchos Nideh, gets changes in the body, and we have to be vigilant then, because sometimes even you have a regular cycle, it starts getting tzamished. But then, slowly, since it's pre-menopause, which means she's starting being Meselek Zumim, she sees much less down. So a person is going to see, his wife sees constantly less than a credit card, but she sees it's heavy, it's thick. You open the pad, you can see it's dumb it's dumb inside, and that's the way how basically she is seeing the period. So that's in the rice also, because she knows what is the side of her, how she sees it is dumb. So I want to bring it out clearly. People should not have this thought. Oh, it's only a kesem, and therefore I could get away. Do Shayim Makabal Tima, because most pads are in Makabal Tima. No, it doesn't go like that. If that's the way how she sees her flow, and you see there is a big chunk, and especially if you open it, you're going to see inside it's full, it's blood, then it is nidda d'oraisa. So again, nidda d'oraisa is takavar gosha, but there are ways, if it's a big kesem, so to speak, or the bathroom gets bloody, then you know she's a nidda d'oraisa, and no hilchas kesem goes into this. A person which feels, let me just another thing which I want to make clear. Women have cramps before they have the bedikas, before they have the vests. A day or two before, they will have cramps. That's not considered a hargusha. Is negaya, a different thing, vesta oinas, vesta gif, it's negaya adra luchas. But this is not considered a hargusha. I want to make it clear. Why? Because if you have an hargusha, whenever a lady has an agusha, if she has an agusha, again, even though most of the women today will not have, but she does have which will have, if she has an agusha, the halach is she has to be boidig taikiv miyad within 2 minutes. She has to be boidig herself if she saw a blood, and if she didn't see anything, she's going to be toma. Only if she see a mara, which is a kosher mara, we're going to be toilet that the hargosha is on the mara tehoira. But if she didn't see anything, we will say she had a riyah, even at kittipas dam, and it got lost. So basically, if a person does have ergusha, which again, I don't think it's too much practically, then he has to make a bedika right away. Now the poskim say already that nowadays, even if it went through 2 minutes, you could still rely and check. Why? Because there is a famous he made a cipher in the Chesnida. It's called Feres Tzvi, and all the poets can bring it down. And he brings the today's day nowadays that our women go with underwear. Once upon a time they didn't go, but today's day we go bugung tachtoinem hatzmidim legif. That means underwear which is basically connected to the body. It's more tight on the body. We could use this as a bedika in some cases. It's not good for a bedika, a regular bedika, but it's good in some cases. So therefore, if a person is on the bus and she feels something and she cannot check within 2 minutes because she's on a bus or whatever she is, then when she comes home, she could see a look of the underwear if she see some kind of blood or a mara tehoira, or then you could rely that this is as if it's a badika. But again, that's only if you have a real badika. If you don't have a real badika, just disregard this thing. Now a lady which has something, a tabas or a nova ring, it's probably people heard of a nova ring, you put it in, which has progesterone, estrogen, which is one of the manis heroin. If a person has a heterapia from Marov to have manis heroin, there's a ring which you put inside. Or there's other kind of rings which people have. If you take it out, there's blood on it. That's also normale nidda, because you saw blood skimmed from the inside. Even the doctor will say, that's old blood. You know, it's dried, it's old blood. After began, we are chashash that she came an ister, and basically she is a nidda. If she sees blood, if she doesn't see blood, then that's fine. The same will go also to the plug. The pregnant woman by the 9th month, the end of the pregnancy, the mucus plug will fall out. Mucus plug is like a saliva, whatever. People who had babies know it, what it is, or if not, the women will know. Once that falls out, she's not tumah, but you have to check. If there's blood on it, then she becomes tameya. If it doesn't have blood, which a lot of times does not have blood, then she's not tamaya. But again, if she does have blood, that's tamaya. So anything which comes from inside and you see a drop of blood, then goes it in the halacha. Kniach sumach le'mayreglayim. We mentioned before, if she makes a kniach right after mayreglayim, is a deraisa. Chavas Das writes, why? Because shema argish v'lavadatai. But this is a very important halacha which I'm going to say now, and it's kedai you should listen and write it in your head. Kniach, because it's a shayla which makes constantly, and it makes a lot of problems. Kniach la'acha mayreglayim is a chashash deraisa. Now, you have to make when is it chashash deraisa? Only if you saw it right away. So the post can say it's within 15 to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 seconds. Even once it's more than 15 seconds, and then she wiped herself, and she sees blood, we go into Geder from Kesem, and we could play around with it. But if she finished making my reglaim and right away she took a bedika or a tissue paper and cleaned herself over there and it came out, then you're going into big problems. So therefore, the advice is women should know, most of the time they wait 50 seconds. 50 seconds goes through very fast. Once she finishes, she still waits a little bit. 50 seconds goes through very fast. In Baruch Hashem, today's day, when the women have phones, and people have phones, and they use it a lot in the toilet, so kalkulosaini hite kunesaini. So it's a gewaltige 50 seconds, a gewaltige meile. Because if she, after she finishes making, she was still busy on her phone, so therefore we have a lot of lenient way to go when it comes to this happen, which usually it will happen. But it could happen that she right away wipes. For instance, she went to the ladies' room and the phone rang outside, the landline rang. Or she reminds herself she has to go pick up the child from the bus. The bus is coming over here. It's not in the guy because there's no buses. But Kapunam, other play with this bus. Oops, I have to go pick up my child. So she could run in, do what she needs to do in the toilet, and right away wipe herself. Then there isn't 50 minutes, 50 seconds after Aturas Meraglam, we're going into problems. So it's Kedai, always it should be at least 15 seconds when she starts wiping. Number 2, it is Kedai, when she wipes, she shouldn't go in over there. She should wipe after, Meraglam hole, not the Oisamukam. Third, if she wipes, she should wipe around a bigger area, not only specific over there. Once she wipes around the area, we're getting more lenient way. And the most important thing is, she should not look at tissues after she goes to the toilet. I once heard from the old Debretzin Ruf, he says, if I had the koyach, I would give out a kolkoira and a chiyuv. Women has to go into the bathroom without light. Close the light. No light. But today's day, this he couldn't do it. But I just want to bring out the concept. If you could, it's a very thing for women because it's an instinct. It's an instinct even by men to look once you wipe. So therefore, if you could constantly remind her, don't look, that's the best thing. And to answer your question, if you don't look, you wipe, you throw it away, you don't see anything. Don't look when it flushes. Because most of the problems goes, oops, I saw a tissue in the toilet by flushing. Don't look. Stop looking, look at your phone. Look at whatever. Don't look, Please don't look. But she should get used to it, wiping bigger area and not going in. Not going in, even if you wipe that area, but don't go in and wait 50 seconds. 50 seconds is not a long time. It's very important to tell you because I'm telling you most of the shaylas today's day is this shayla. After going to, I found a tissue, I wiped, I saw pink on it. And once you found something on a tissue, do not throw it away. Do not throw it away. Keep it, put it away. Because again, sometimes we have to look at it, sometimes not. But again, it's kedai, but again, that's within 50 seconds. Once she wiped the first time and she threw it away and she flushed, let's say, afterwards if she wiped again, that's already not after Aturas Meraglaim. And it's very important to halachas this, because again, as I mentioned, a lot of shaylas, I would say 50% shaylas is the shaylas which comes after she went to the bathroom, and this happens.
So shayla.
It's still a shayla, but then we're going into tissues, item kabel tema. You have where to go around. Yeah. But once you go in, and if you're going penetrate in deep, you're going into badika. So you don't have. You understand? Then it falls away the heter of item kabel tema. So that's why I'm saying don't go in, and all these 4 things which is important, which I hope and I assume the women know that because she learned they have also a kala teacher, but we constantly have to go over these halachas because again, kashik chematzia. Chashushas avest is only, as I mentioned before, only after a bedikas ed or a regular flow. If the doctor made a bedika and she becomes toma, she's toma. But there's no chashushas avest. You don't have to 30 days. Which the day the doctor was. You went to the doctor, give him a cheshm, you don't have to make a bedika. Or all the chashushas avest and Gimel Kislev, you don't have to be choishish. And the same will be after Alayda. After Alayda, you are Tumah. There's no question about it, but there's no Cheshushes Vest. You had a baby, Gimel Cheshvan, has nothing to do with Cheshushes Vest. Cheshushes Vest is only a flow or a Bedike al-Ed, Bedike, which you made a Bedike. Another thing, she starts seeing a flow Tuesday, but Monday or Sunday, she starts seeing Ksumim. And the Kesem, basically, let's say a day before, Monday, she saw a Kesem, and it was more than a gris. It's Toma, she became Toma. But the flow, the Riyah, starts only the next day. Cheshushes Avest is from the next day. Cheshushes, as I mentioned before, Eich Mishim Vest Cheshushes Avest, Ein Mishim Kesem Mishim Vest. A Kesem does not make a Cheshash Vest. So therefore, on Monday she saw a Kesem, even though she became Tuma, and when it comes to the 5 days, you could start from she's seeing the Kesem, because as long as you were Tumah, you could start the 5 days. The 5 days before the 7 days, you could start. But when it comes to Cheshushes Avest, it is only from the day when she starts the flow, because then is the Reise, die gesagt, then she becomes Cheshushes Avest. Okay, so now we know the Klulis the Galucha. Now let's start the Zohar. A person sees the first time, which is not the guy for us, because it has to do with girls. We start seeing when they're girls, but it's Nagaya after a baby. Because once you have a baby, all the Cheshushes Avest, which she had before, null and void. Falt weg. She had a baby, she has no vests now. Again, we can not yet when a vest gewier, but Pashtas, our ladies do not have vest gewiers. Most of them, I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them, there are some vest gewiers. A regular lady doesn't have vest gewier. She has a baby, nothing, there's no Cheshushes Avest. She sees the first time a Riyah after she had a baby, whenever it should be. It's 10 months afterwards, whatever it should be, after she's clean and she's a couple of months nursing. She sees the first time a Riyah. She has a Cheshash, 2 Cheshoshes. One is called Cheshash Yom HaChodesh. One is called Cheshash Oine Bainis. What's Yom HaChodesh? The Chodesh is the thing which brings the Riyah. Why did she see today? Because today is Gimel Cheshvan. Gimel Cheshvan, the sun, the way the sun is in Gimel Cheshvan, Gimel HaChodesh, that brings the vest, because the vest has a lot of tatun with the moon. That's one of the reasons. Yisroel nimshel the levune, the schatches, the women are malchis, the levune is beginnes malchis, in Chassidus. So therefore, has to do with that. So therefore, you saw Gimel Cheshvan. Now you have to be choishish, Gimel Kislev, Yom HaChodesh. You don't have a vest afluga, because afluga is only the jump from one afluga to the other afluga, from one Riyah to other Riyah. So you have to be choishish, next time, Gimel Kislev. Another thing you have to be choishish, since you don't have a vest kaviyah, is das einfach Oine Bainis. What's Oine Bainis? Oine Bainis is vest from the Chava. The Rebbeinu Shalom gave the teva of a woman, which we call Chava, because the Chava was the first lady. A lady sees once in 30 days. That's usually that's the derech hateva was the Rebbeinu Shalom weggestellt. So since we don't know when, Chazal weggestellt, since she's going to see, we are making the 30th day, that's really, she doesn't have other cheshash, we're going to say, if she doesn't have a that means if she didn't kavaya somewhere else, we are going to be choishish, maybe she's going to see, since she doesn't have a veskavua, she's going to see the 30th day. So once a lady sees the first time after she has a laida, Gimel Cheshvan, she has to be choishish, Gimel Kislev, also Yom HaChodesh, and 30 days from Gimel Cheshvan. I won't say Gimel Kislev because sometimes it's Gimel, sometimes because then it's a Mula Chusa. 30 days after that's considered Oine Bainis. We're going to see Oine Bainis Machlokes, but this is how, again, we are going to the Alter Rebbe, is Yom HaShloshim. Haflug is not Chishdu because he didn't see. Once she's going to see another time, now there's going to be as a Vest Hafluga from first West to the second West. So what's a Vest HaChodesh? A Vest HaChodesh is, as I mentioned before, we are Choishish that the Levuna at this day of the Chodesh is Goyram that she should see a Riyah. If she sees 3 times Gimel Chodesh, Gimel Cheshvan, Gimel Kislev, Gimel Taivas, 3 times, and in the same Oina, then she has a Veskviyah. Veskviyah means she has no more any cheshoshes, no no vest aflugi if she had, no oine beinenes, she has a vest kavua, gimel lachoidish is her day, until she's oiker this vest, she has 1 day to be choishish. 1 day. All other chashos falls away. Now, the pashtus will be a good thing if a person has vest kavua. It is a good thing because you have no other chashoshes. The only problem is today's day that it doesn't keep. It doesn't stay. If a person has a vest kavua, which I could say in all my 18 years being a moirerua, I had one lady which I know had a vest kavua months, maybe years. Other ones had it for, I would say, 9 months, and then it changed. Most will have it. It happens, but so if a person has a vest kavua for years, it's a very good thing. She knows on the calendar only one thing, the day when she has this kavua, Allah's fine about it. But most of people, even if it happens to be a kavua, it won't stick. So therefore, you will always, what happens, once you kavaya vest kavua, you will always have to have it on the calendar, because although it's going to start coming other times when you're going to see, and you're not going to see, let's say for instance, she has a vest kavua for Gimel HaChodesh. Yeah, she saw 3 times Gimel HaChodesh. Now, next couple of Chodoshim, she's not going to see Gimel. But you still have to have it on calendar, because once she's going to go back to Gimel, the vest kavua wakes up again. The only way how to be oiker a vest kavua is when you make a different kavua, which again, doesn't happen that much. So if you have a vest kavua and it gets mixed up, this day will always stay on the calendar. So that's why it's not a good thing today's day to have a vest kavua, and we try always to look. That's on a schwer nikva, but again, if it's kavua, it's kavua. You can't, but we try to figure out all those things as ob es a kavua oder nicht. So again, that's vest hachodesh is by 3 times it is a vest, is kavua vest. Now it's no difference if it's a chodesh mulam, chodesh chuser. If she sees Gimel Cheshvan, Gimel Kislev, Gimel Taivas, she has a vest kavua for Gimel. Although it's not the same amount of days between Gimel Cheshvan to Gimel Kislev, is not the same amount as Gimel Kislev, Gimel Taivas, because sometimes it's smaller, sometimes it's choser. Has nothing to do, has to do with Gimel. Gimel, and therefore it is a vest kavua. Has to be ba'oisa oina. What does it mean, has to be ba'oisa oina? The day is divided in 2. The oina means, oinas hayom is going to be from Netzachama till Shkiyas Hachama. According to Alter Rebbe, again, there's a big machloikas, and in the shiur which I gave 3 weeks ago on the online koilel, I elaborated more on the lomdus of this nekida. But akaponam, according to the Pash, we're going to the Alter Rebbe, oinas hayom is from the Netzachama till Shkiyas Hachama. Although we know Yom oinas halaylu goes in this cheshbon from Shkiyas Hachama till Netzachama. Although we know usually Laylu is going to be B'tzas HaKechovim, but Oynes Hayom Legab Chshushus HaVest is going to be from Netzachama till Shkiyas Hachama. Why? The reason why, it has to be again with the Levona. Or sun on the Levona. Since the sun is not, whenever the sun is out, that means from Netzachama the sun is out, and whenever the sun goes down, so the sun could be Goyrim the Riyah. When the sun is no more here, automatically it shifts to the Levona. So therefore it goes Netzachama to Shkiyas Hachama. That's always the day which is divided in these 2. When a person is kavaya vest kavua of Gimel HaChodesh, has to be Gimel HaChodesh, all 3 times he has to see in the same day, let's say, Oynes Hayom. If for instance one time she saw Gimel HaChodesh at night, that means Orle Gimel. And the second time she saw in the morning, and the third time she saw also in the morning, but since it's only 2 times she saw in the morning, and the third time was at night, it's not a vest kavua. Vest kavua is only, has to be the same day, has to be the same oina, and only then it is nikva vest kavua. That's a klal, that only ba'oisa yom and ba'oisa oina. When a person has so Gimel Cheshvan, so next time she has to be choishish for Gimel Kislev. She doesn't not have a vest kavua. It's only once. Goes through the day. She makes a bedika. Yeah, because that's the halacha that Yom HaChash vest you have to make a bedika. She didn't see anything. Take her off from the calendar. Gimel falls off from the calendar. Since you're not kavaya, it wasn't nikva. It's only 1 time or even 2 times. As long as not nikva geworden, the day goes by, you made a bedika, you didn't see, then it falls off in the calendar. Now, I know most of you must probably have the app. So they make all the calculations, but it's also good to know the cheshbonos, because not always, they could be, not usually, but there could be mistakes in the app too. And also, sometimes, you don't have the app handy. It's kedai, we should know also keep a calendar, which on pen and paper. So again, you have to make the cheshbonos. Once the gimel was boidik and you don't see it, it's off. Falt es weg. A person saw 2 times lamed lechodesh. Yeah? And she has to be choishish, or 1 time, she saw lamed lechodesh. She has to be choishish, next chodesh, lamed lechodesh. But next chodesh, there's no lamed. Och da machloikes, what she needs to do. Some poskim can say, lamed lechodesh was the last day of the month, so you'll have to be choishish the last day of the month. Some poskim will say, no, 30 days. So if 30 days, there's no lamed lechodesh, so what is the 30th day, lamed? So to speak, would be aleph. So you have to be choishish aleph lechodesh. Lamaisa, we pass according to Rabbi Simon and say, Tzemach Tzedek says, if she doesn't have a lamed, it falls away. So if a person sees once a vesh eine kivir, lamed lechodesh, the next chodesh that isn't a lamed lechodesh, you don't have to be choishish for yom chodesh. And that means it falls away all the way. Even next chodesh afterwards will be a lamed lechodesh. It's over. Lamed lechodesh is now over. Kviyas vest for yom chodesh could be when she sees 3 times. Gimel chodesh. What is if she sees 2 times Gimel cheshm, Gimel kislev, and the 3rd time she sees bais taivas. Again, 2 times Gimel cheshm, Gimel kislev, but Gimel taivas is shitoma, but she started seeing the flow bais a day before or 2 days before. Again, over here we have a machloikas. If this is a machloikas, even zwischen Rabbunai Chabad, but ich habe ungenehmen, also wie the Ole Yosef, and Rav Farkash goes also according to that since it's a vesh eine kaviyah, and you're not kavaya it, if the 2 times was basically from Mayin Susam, that means the flow started on Gimel Chodesh, and the 3rd time is from Mayin Pesiach, if she didn't stop and see again, it's not a kviz vest. For instance, let me give them what I mean if it didn't stop. She saw Tes Lechodesh. Tes Cheshm, she saw. Second Tes Kislev she sees. Now, 3rd time, she sees High Taivas. And she sees 5 days, usually. So, Tes Taivas, she sees. It's not Kavai Vest. But what if it happens to be she made a bedika 3rd day? She wanted to see basically if she's stopped bleeding, although it's still in the 5 days and she cannot start Shiva Nikiyam, but she made a bedika. And whenever a lady makes a bedika, even before the 5 days, if she makes a bedika, she sees she stopped bleeding, she has to put it into the calendar. Although you're going to see when it comes to Vestafluga, we go the end. The clean days, which means from Hefsek to Adam. But if she happens to be, she made a bedika, for whatever reason it should be, and she sees she stopped seeing, then basically she stopped. Now it comes Tes Taivas, she started seeing again. That means in the middle of the she had a day or 2 which she stopped, and then Tes started again. This time it will become a Riyah Chadosha. It's a Riv Chadosh, and therefore you kivai vest. But if it started a day or 2 before and keeps on bleeding, since the 3rd one is a Mayim Psiach, we are not kivaya vest of vest Yom HaChodesh. Another important halach is very in Kedai. When we say the vest HaChodesh, it goes in Jewish calendar. And it's not a joke, because I have to tell it, because I had already such a thing, which women asked me, Goyish calendar. It's a goyish calendar. It goes with Yiddish calendar and Nishka Shayachis. And Oynes guy is also with Yiddish calendar. That means night, Oynes Hayom is once it becomes Shkisachama, Tzasek Gechuvim, whatever, at least Tzasek Gechuvim, then is the next day. If she saw 50 minutes after Tzasek Gechuvim, she saw at night. Although in the Goyshe, it's till 12 o'clock, it's still the whole day. In Serechem is kein Goysh, although you know the famous word which the Rebbe used to say from Tzadikim, I think the Rebbe used to say it from Kedushas Leivi, that the Rebbe once said, today, Happy New Year for Rav Hecht. And he was, Happy New Year. So the Rebbe said, the Kedushas Leivi said, there's a passing in Tillam, Hashem yisper b'chsoiv amen. Hashem counts like the Goyim are counting. So since the Goyim are counting now a new year, I'm telling you Happy New Year. So therefore, although today is Happy New Year, it has nothing to do with our calendar. Women should know, and again, I'm saying it because it's not a good joke. It happens. Especially in New, when you used to use it in the Goyish calendar, which today's the Bechal is a problem. You ask a person, when did you kviyah the chasana? Oh, we have a date, November 5. Wait a minute, November 5. Why November 5? Why not give me a date, a Yiddish date? We got used to, so although you send out your text for the family that mark the calendar November 5 and make chasana, but the calendar of Ves has nothing to do with the Goyish kviyas. If a person a lady wakes up in the morning, and she doesn't know, maybe it started at night already, the flow, you found it now, so then you have to know that it started now, it's a Vesta Yom, it's not a Vesta Lailu. If she saw it by Netzachama Mamash, which today's day can happen, women, today's day the Netz is 7:12, 7:15, yeah, and she's up already, and Madanetz, she sees, you have to be choishish for Vesta Lailu and for Vesta Yom. But if we woke up in the morning when it's day already, and you saw it, in Zamanish choishish again, the Lailu, it says okay.
Such a case would be to make a kavua.
What?
When it's near Netzacham, you can make a kavua off of it.
If
for the night and for the day, let's say.
Then you can make a kavua.
So
Because it was the kavaya.
Because last month it was by night. And
No.
this month it was 2 times by night last time.
Yeah.
And now it's again by nets.
Yeah, but we don't know. That's why we choishish both. So you could say biskavaya vest lechimra, but nicht lekilla, because maybe. Another thing is important to know: we only count haschulas havest once she started the flow. She started the flow today, and she saw 3 days. The second day, the third day is only the first oina, the first day. That's the haschulas havest, and has nothing to do with. It goes only if it's a short vest, which is a halacha, which I don't know how much the guy is, but again, if she starts seeing, let's say, 2 hours before the shkia, and she sees the whole riyah is till, let's say, half an hour after the shkia, then the Alter Rebbe that you have to be choishish next time also, the full Oynes Hayom, that means from the beginning of Oynes Hayom, it's considered Oynes Hayom, but you have to be choishish also the time which went into the next Oyna, so we say the whole thing is one Oyna. Usually we say when there's a flow, it starts the flow and then it takes 5 days or 2 days or 3 days, we say the rest is only, it's not the action, but if it is a short, then you have to be choishish even half an hour afterwards. But regularly you have to know only the first day counts. Fine. That's Vesta Chodesh. Let's go to Vesta Fluga. Vesta Fluga is not the day of the Vunis Goyrem. What's Goyrem? The Hafluga from one time to the other time. That means as if, so to speak, we have a cup, fills up. Once you empty it out, you start counting again. Till it fills up again. So again, if a lady sees twice, so we have to see how much was the time between one riyah with the second riyah. And the time which is 1 year, other year, that is called Vesta Fluga. So Vesta Fluga is only after she sees twice already, after Laida. The first time is only on Achodesh, between the Bainis, and once she sees the second time, now she has to take out and see how many Flugas was, how much time was from one riyah to the second riyah, and then that is a Vesta Fluga. What is Vesta Fluga? Vesta Fluga is according a big machlokas. The machlokas which most poskim will go. We look the day when she saw last time, and we see the day when she saw the second time. Last time she saw Gimel Cheshbon. It happens to be Gimel Cheshbon, but it has nothing to do with the Gimel Cheshbon. The Gimel. Last time she saw Gimel Cheshbon, And then it went through 26 days and she saw again. So, and we count both days. So we have 26 days that she had from one floor to the second floor. So now she's going to make a cheshbon, that's 26 days. And that is the Vestafluga. That means every time you count the day which she saw and 26 days, the time which she saw again, the second time, and you count Vestafluga. That's according to, I would say, Ribeke Killer Shel Ha'olam. The translation had an andere cheshbon. The translation says we don't count days from one flow to the flow, we count clean days. That means how many clean days does she have? And this is how it's going to count. That means if she saw Gimel Cheshbon and she saw 3 days or 5 days or 8 days, whatever it should be, whenever she stopped seeing, now we start counting how many clean days is there between the Hefsek Tahara till we see again. And that is what we count. Always we're going to count clean days. And the Alter Rebbe paskens according to the translation. Other poskim do not agree with the Alter Rebbe. Some poskim, I would say quite a few, say we should be machmer also to Alter Rebbe's translation, to Alter Rebbe's West. But we, Chsidei Chabad, at least B'doris or Achroinim, we are going only to according to Alter Rebbe. That means we are counting the days which is clean days. How do you know when it's clean? Or the Maril, we have this, the Maril said, the Alter Rebbe's breeder, from when she makes Hefsek Tahara. Now usually she makes Hefsek Tahara after 5 days. If she cannot make Hefsek Tahara after 5 days, she makes after 7 days, so you count for 7 days. But what is if she didn't make any Bedika? So when she makes Hefsek Tahara, we put it in calendar. Maybe she stopped before, could be, but I wasn't boidik. So since I wasn't boidik, therefore we are machmer, and we say that it's still not a clean day, and we only have Tahara. If she made a bedika for whatever reason she wanted, as I mentioned before, she could make if she wants, and she made a bedika after 3 days, although she cannot start counting the 7 days because it has to go through 5 days, but from when she made the hefsing and she didn't see, that is a Vestafluga. Now Vestafluga goes on oinus and goes on oinus. That means we don't count from clean days. We don't count clean days. We count how many oinus. That means from when she made Hefsek Tahara till when she saw it last time, how many oinus went through? Not days, and it could be a difference in one oinus usually. If you count days, then it's always night and day. If you count days, but Vestafluga, according to the Alter Rebbe, goes only by oinus. So it could be, now in the Vestafluga, it could be once at night, it could be once per day. Once at night. Vestachoidish, we said, Kvi's Vest is only same day and the same oina. All 3 times has to be oinus ayom or oinus alayla. When it comes to Vestafluga, oinus we count oinus, but it doesn't have to be nikva. If she sees 3 times 56 oinus, although one time it's at night, one time it's at the morning, she's kavaya vest. Because we are counting the oinus, how much it is. And that's very important to know. Again, if you have the app, he does your calculation, but if you don't have an app, you have to count every oina, and usually the difference between you count oinas a days will be in one oina. Sometimes no difference. Sometimes it would be a difference in an oina. Okay, again, Alter Rebbe is according to Safaria.
Middle of the night.
What?
If she makes a hefsek,
if she makes hefsek middle of the night, whatever, whenever she makes hefsek, yeah. Okay, next, another thing. A person, ook de wichtige halacha, person has a vestarucha, has a vest kavir van vloegen. Now, vesta chodesh, could a person have 2 vesta chodesh in one month? She could have a vest gimel chodesh, and if she saw again chuv zayin chodesh, the next month she has to be chodesh gimel chodesh and chuv zayin chodesh. So she can steer. Vesta vloegen is not such a thing. Vesta vloegen is always from the last time you saw. You have to be chodesh. Now, it's not so push it. The Alter Rebbe doesn't hold like that. The Alter Rebbe holds you have to have 2 Vestaflugas in count. But the Tzemach Tzedek argues with the Alter Rebbe and disagrees with the Alter Rebbe. And this is Baruch Hashem we passing like the Tzemach Tzedek. If not, it will be a lot of cheshbonos. The Alter Rebbe passing like the Ramu. The Tzemach Tzedek passing like all other poskim which disagree with the Ramu. And so therefore, it's only the last one. only after the last 3. That means if she saw Gimel Chodesh and 5 days, or let's say, and she had a fluge from 56 months, 56 oiners, but in middle she saw Rodaria, so you keep 56. The Kviyas is 56. The Cheshbon is 56, but you don't count it from last time. You count it from the last 3 years. You count 56. That's always Vesta Fluga. Veskavia, again, as I mentioned before, does not get necker only if you have a different Veskavua. If you didn't see by the Veskavia, it gets necker, but it stays in the background, subconscious. And whenever you're going to see that day again, for instance, a lady saw 3 times Gimel Chodesh. She has a Veskavua. And then for the next 5 years, she didn't see. Once it comes back Gimel Chodesh, everything falls down, and the Gimel comes back. The Gimel comes back. Okay, that's the fluke. Let's just go over the Nekidus of Oinabainis. Now there's a third thing which you mentioned, that's Oinabainis. Oinabainis is, again, also big machloikas. Shach holds it's Yom HaChodesh. The Chavazdas holds it's 31st day. But the Alter Rebbe holds it's 30 days. It's only the Oinabainis is only the 30 day. And we have to be choishish that day. The Welt, hat ungenehm the Chavazdas, the Shach, and the Alter Rebbe. So therefore, the ganze Welt is choishish every time your 30 and 31st is Aser. 30, 31st always is going to be Aser. Because 30 als the Oinabainis and the Alter Rebbe, which is a lot of Posim go, Kreis applies here basically, which a lot of Posim go, that's the main West of the Chalal, 30 days. But there's still a Chavazdas, it's 31st. So therefore, the Machbat always 31st too. And Yom HaChodesh will always fall or 30 or 31st. So it's not, so these 2 days always also. They have another thing which they have, the Welt is Choishish of Oines or Zariya. One Oine before the West HaChodesh, anytime when they have a Chashash West, that means Oine Bainenis, Yom HaChodesh, Afluga, one Oine before they are going to be Poirish. It's called Oines or Zariya, and the whole world goes according to Oines or Zariya. The Alter Rebbe does not bring Oines or Zariya, and we don't keep this. So we have also lenience from the Alter Rebbe in Hechas Nidder. We have some heavy chimras, but we have also some lenience that basically we don't have Oines or Zariya, and Oine Bainis will always be only 30 days. Now again, 31st day might be Osad Matzad Yom HaChodesh, but only if it falls on the day 31. If it doesn't fall, which is some half a time it will fall on Yom HaChodesh, we only have to be Chodesh one time, which is the day 30. There's a big difference between Vesta Chodesh, Vesta Fluga, and Oine Bainis. Vesta Chodesh, Vesta Fluga, it's also only that Oine. That means only that half a day. That means if she saw last time at night, so Yom HaChodesh, you're going to be also at night. Next day will be Mitter, day before will be Mitter. If she saw only in the morning, the night before will be Mitter. The same will be also a Fluga, only that Oina. Oina Bainis is the Alter Rebbe Machmir the Plaisi, that the 24 hours is Osir. It's not the Oina, even though she saw the 30 day she saw at night, but since it's day 30, you have to be Choishish the whole day, 24 hours a day. What do you need to do when it comes to Chashash Vest? What you need to do is, bepashtas is Shichanurech steht, that you have to be machmer from Tashmish. The Chashash Vest, also betashmish. Ruhe, the poskim say, it's kedai to be machmer also from Chibig V'nishik. Some poskim hold, it's not Ruhe, it's Medina. Other poskim hold, it's not Medina, it's Ruhe kedai. But the Kabbalah Medina, halacha choladais, it's only metashmish. When it comes to all other things which you have in Hilchas HaChukah, which we're going to see in Hilchas HaChukah, that means giving over, touching, all these things, you don't have to be Choshev Yom Vest. Only Chibig V'nishik and Gmivn Tashmish, that's for sure. Now, what do you need to do when you have a Chashash Vest? Yeah, comes Gimel, you saw last time Gimel Cheshm, comes Gimel Kissa, what do you need to do? You have to make a Bedika when it comes the time of that only you have to make a Bedika. When you make a Bedika. So now I want to make clear. When it's a Vesh Eine Kiviyah, Zug the Alter Rebbe clear that you make it the time when she saw last time. Last time she saw 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you make the Bedika from 2 o'clock till the end of the Oina. Whenever you make the Bedika, it's fine. When it comes to oine beinenis in West Hafluge, when you make the bedika, there is a machloikes tisher Rabunei Chabad. Rav Heller writes in his Kitzur Tahara, always 2 o'clock and on. If you saw last time it's 2 o'clock afternoon, you made the bedika oine beinenis at 3 o'clock, which is after 2 o'clock, it's good enough. Lanis dati, no such a thing. The Alter Rebbe doesn't halt, beferish nicht so. And the Alter Rebbe holds, Saiba oine beinenis, and Saiba ves kavur, has to be the end of the oine. Has to be the end of the oine. And if you made the bedika 3 o'clock in the afternoon, even though if you saw last time 2 o'clock, it's as if you didn't make a bedika. I'll explain in a minute. Rav Farkash says a difference between Veskavia and Oine Beinenis. Veskavia, he agrees with Rav Heller. Doesn't have to be the end of the day as long as it's after 2 o'clock. Oine Beinenis, he agrees with what I say, that has to be the end of the day. So basically, it's Nagaya. We don't have Veskavias. Let me just make it. Kamat, as I mentioned before, Kamat, so it's not that much Nagaya. But Oine Beinenis has to be the end of the day. If you made it an hour before the end of the day, hast du eine Shiotzi gewinnt, sie gut nicht. It has to be the end of the day, and also if passt ins Farkash. He agrees with Rav Heller that basically West Kavia could be like Vesha Eine Kavia. I have rayas, which I wrote and I gave shiurim on it, that it's 100% Alter Rebbe fertig nicht so. And if you make a bedika by West Kavia 3 o'clock when she saw 2 o'clock, hast du eine Shiotzi gewinnt. It has to be the end of the day. But again, since it's not Nagaya that much, I'm not going to elaborate over here. But very important, it is kedai to know that Oine Beinenis, day 30, you should make the last minute of the day. And what it means, last minute of the day? The last minute of the day means the last minute of the day. Now, how could you make the last minute of the day? So I advise, put in a bedika 2 minutes before end of the day, for the shkia, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you have time. Leave it till a minute or 2 after the shkia. Why? Because we have a big machloikas when she should make this bedika. If she should make the end of the oina, or the end of the oina means right before the shkia, or right after the shkia. And the Farkash brings down also this nakida, and he also advises if you can, you should make it, put it in right before the shkia, and leave it till after the shkia. Why? What's the concept? The concept is like this. The Chacham Tzvi writes, how could he make a bedika 3 o'clock in the afternoon when he saw 2 o'clock? Because he saw 2 o'clock. Good. Oine the Beinenis hat nicht die mit dir. Oine Beinenis is with Chava, as we mentioned. A regular lady. So you didn't see 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock you saw. Maybe you saw 5 o'clock. Maybe you saw 6 o'clock. You have the shkis 8 o'clock at night. In the evening, you made a bedika 5 o'clock. You made a bedika 7 o'clock. Good. So you know, 7 o'clock you didn't see. How did you know that 7:05 you didn't see? How do you know 7:30 you didn't see? Now, Bavesha Eine Kviya, we all agree you don't have to be choishish, because it's totally in you. Vesha Eine Kviya is totally in that lady. So that lady, we want to see, wie sie geht bei ihr. What's her Vesha Eine Kviya? So that we want to see, so it's Eine Kviya. So we say, last time she saw 2 o'clock, let's assume she's going to see 2 o'clock again. 3 o'clock, you made a bedika, it's fine. But when you're talking about West Kviya, or even Oine Beinenis, let's go Oine Beinenis, which is the versus in the guy. When you go Oine Beinenis, which the two is a chashash, because a lady sees a day 30 or 30 days. The Prophet is showing him day 30 to 30 once in 30 days. So therefore, how could you say that he made a bedika 5 in the afternoon? It's enough when you still have 3 hours till the end of the day. Maybe you're going to see 6 o'clock. So therefore, the Ribbe Poiskim hold that when you make a bedika end of the day, you should make it end of the oina. Now, some Poiskim say end of the oina. That means the Bratziner writes the end, last minute of the oina beinenis. Other Poiskim say the last minute. Other Poiskim, my Brandsrim, others say afterwards. And other Poiskim say you should. That's why you should put it in a minute before, a minute and a half, and leave it inside, because if you put it 2 minutes before, maybe a minute before she's going to see. So you leave it till the shkia, and a minute after the shkia, or a little bit after the shkia, and then you're good to go. And this is what Farkash Paskins it's kedai to do, and this is what a lot of other Paskim say kedai to do. But if you made the bedika, and Oine Beinenis at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you saw 2 o'clock, Lani is dati, since we know about Oine Beinenis over a vest veloy botke asire atchetivdik. By vesh eine kavia, if the day went through and you didn't make bedike b'de'evet, it's okay. You don't have to be boidik. Machmer, aber mit zad haluch you don't have to be boidik. But when it comes to eine beinis, hat es as achimmer also wie eine vest kavia, is over a vest veloy botke is asire atchetivdik. She's also till she's going to make a bedike. So therefore, my Branson says always make it night.
After the oina finishes, do the bedike.
Okay, but sof kesov, just at the end of the oina. So some want to say end of the oina means after the oina. Some say no, end of the oina means the end of the oina. So therefore they make this achrua. But I would say if you have two options, or make it 5 minutes before the shkia, or make it 5 minutes after the shkia. I would say make it 5 minutes after the shkia.
Winter, summer,
Yeah, make it 5 minutes after the shkia. And as je später, we freer. And that's by mir dus 100% clear. And I have shine rise of them van Alter Rebbe clear. So that's why I want to say it, because ich weiß dass andere going on kids ich has tahara and from the koilel, and I feel as nicht richtig. Okay? What? What you get? What you and somebody I just gave a shir on this nikida also. I mentioned this nikida in the online. There's an online koilel. So there's a guy who was here 2 weeks for Shabbos, Berel Politico, so he wrote me, I gave it 2 months ago, he wrote me 3 days ago, I found in a koivitz in Australia, which came out, I don't know how he got hand of it, I saw Harav Yosef Yeshaya Brown, Melbourne, Australia, because before he became chief rabbi in Crown Heights, he was a magachir in he writes, and he writes, Mamash is what I say. So I have because, you know...
Is there any shit that you can be sent on to do it early?
Oh, yeah. Koken first, Rabbi Heller. Yeah, but the Emes is with the Eved, you could be. But I don't want to go in, but I'm going to explain it. There's a Chazanish, which holds that the Badike is nicht zu suchen, ob es hat gesehen jetzt oder nicht. He comes with a chiddush, the same as a bedika. You make a bedika shivas nekim. You make once in the morning, once. What is if you made only shiva nekim 1 in the morning? You didn't make it in the afternoon. It's been good. So the question is, why is it good? You made it in the morning. Maybe she saw in the afternoon. So das gibt mir eine Jugend, das du gesehen. Ich will ihm machen zusammen mit der If I made now a bedika and I see she's clean, hat sie achas Haare. It's like a joke which my shver once told me. He told me that his father told him when he went to yeshiva, he told him like this, I cannot come in yeshiva check on if you learn or not. I cannot check, I'm working hard. If I'm going to pop in yeshiva, I'm going to find you learning, I'm going to know that you're learning. If I'm going to pop in once in a bloom and I'm going to find you schmoozing or drinking coffee, I know that you're not learning. So the same thing is over here. If you make a bedika, you find it clean, it's a store. The other poiskim don't learn this. Ich darf machzig sein as is betahara the whole oina. So therefore they want the end of, I want to be machzig till that, the bach, with the other, the chacham tzvi. I want to see every minute, I want to see that she's clean. So at the end of the day, we see she's clean, the whole day was clean. But if you saw the middle of the day, my chatay is you saw the end of the day, she's clean. But with the Eved, I'm going to come as a verlassen of Hoe lang bedien? Aber auf dem Sinne? Why? Nein. Maar of hij heeft zich te haren, maar het is een issue met magduchiks. You want all the women should divorce yourself. Nein. Die hebben hem gezal gezoekt. Kijk the end of the oina. A vrouw zei, usually she's going to see, it doesn't start in a minute. So therefore, the end of the oina, if she's clean, she didn't see. Also if you mag zich te zijn. So therefore, in the bindness again, if you saw in the middle of the day, you made a bedika and you didn't make end of the day, lani is that you see the adjective. Vestachoid is a vesh eine kvia.
What she do?
From the time she saw last time in further. Dus heb ik geen problem. Vesh eine kvia, the Alter Rebbe says clearly that you could make mishasa ves veilig. So,
1:10 at 12 o'clock. That night, she thought it was 12 o'clock by night. The next month, she's going to sleep at 10. She's to wait till 12 o'clock.
No, when she wakes up in the morning, she's making the
But it's when
she wakes up after the that's
after the camp. So over a vez wil ibadki is good.
But over a vez.
Yeah. I think so. Whenever, according to all the poskim, yeah. What is if a lady saw 3 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, she came home from chasana and she saw 3 o'clock in the morning. What is it going to be next time? What are you going to? When she have to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning to make a bedika?
Then?
No. a couple of kleine luchelach. The day of Oina Bayan is the Yom HaChashash. It's kedai not to wash yourself inside. That means make a tush or make a bathtub. Shower will not be a problem, but it's kedai or mekan. Lekitchila shishun because in zol medach wissen. Sich mag sich sagen, we want it should be lekitchila shizung the postkam. So man sprechen kann Leute tirchet zasasma. Over avez v'loy vodka, as I mentioned before, went through, you forgot, make a badika. If it's regular Yom HaChodesh, or even Yom HaFluga, or Vesta Fluga, mitzad adin, it's no problem. You don't have to be boidik. Over avez v'loy vodka is tohira. The minig is, shtay the chroim zugan l'chili zoma machmazan, but you don't need to. But oine bain is over avez v'loy vodka, she's tamaya at shetivdik. If she's going to see afterwards, then that's not a problem. After the day the chashash on the vest comes, you have to ask her if she see or not. They said she didn't tell you, that's not enough. You have to ask her, did you see? Today you made a badika? Was good? Yeah? That's fine. Again, a kid is a vest, there's naked even one time, and it's okay. And just one thing we have to understand, this is again, I don't know how much this is Nagaya, but again, it can happen. There is such a thing as a vestadilik, vestasirik, which vestadilik means she saw this gimel cheshbon, dalat kislev, hai, taivas, goes on, you can buy a vest. If you saw it 3 times, that means 4, 5 dilik, that means it's a fluga, it's not this is, if it's a vest chodesh, it's only 4 times. If it's a fluga, it's 5 times. So if you can buy such a vest, keeps on going. So what happens at the end of the month? What happens at the month? Yeah, it keeps on, yeah. Last time she saw Chov Beis. Second time she saw Chov Yiryon. Third time she saw Chov Dalet. Okay? So now she has a Veskaviyah. Chov Hey, Chov Vov, Chov Zayin, Chov Tes. What happens afterwards? Falls away. Och, as I mentioned before. So that's Vestadilik. It could also be vice versa. It could be she saw Ches Kislev, Zayin, Taivas. We have to.
Kavur and it falls away?
Even if it's a Kavur.
Even if it's a kavur,
because
it never comes back.
No, because it's a tricky, weil es hat sich geendigt. The mass is again the app holds cheshbon for all Sachen. That's why be'etzem I advise to have the app, and I push the app even by a lot of Polish chassidim, which they ask shilas by me. I used to tell them when I saw that they're confused to go on the Lubavitcher app. And because they don't have a regular app, it's not accurate. The Chabad app is good. I say keep the other app, but at least, and they makes all kinds of cheshbonis. Sometimes a person brings me his phone. Look, he tells me you have to ask a roof. So yeah, it gechapt. There's all kind of interesting vestas. That's why the app is a mala. But again, we have to know the basic things. And the Rabbi helfen as when he held the Cheshbon Shtayt in the Svurim, if you learn Hilchas Shabbos, you're miftich that you should be Mechal Shabbos. There was once a roof which became smicha, became a roof of a community. He went to his Rebbe and says, "How do I have as Gila becomes Pesach, Hilchas Pesach Chamirim? How do I have that I shouldn't be nichshel in Yonah Pesach? All the heavy shalas." He says, if you're going to learn every year Hilchas Pesach, you're going to finish Hilchas Pesach every year. It's from Himmeli do Asiyata Deshmaya, you shouldn't have the heavy shalas. And from when I heard this story, I read it once, but Hashem, I'm trying every year to go through Hilchas Pesach and Hilchas Shunim Kippasikas, so at least, the heavy shalas shouldn't come. That's the same thing goes with this. When you learn Hilchas Tahara, if you learn it, is the Sazgilam and Hashemayim, you shouldn't be a nichshel of the Inyunam, and I've shelfen as so man can takes on ehrliche frimme Siddushir.